All right. Thank you for spending time with us today. So we are going to have a first panel today with the fantastic the mini conference AI DePIN in Robotics mini summit. So the first panel, the topic is an intersection of agent and obviously blockchain. So we have 5 experts, but we have just only 25 minutes. So we're gonna start introduction, and I will ask the specific questions, but feel free to expand the topic. So let's get started with the introduction quickly. Please introduce yourself, and also what's the most excited about the agent and also blockchain. So please limit it with the 30 seconds. Please start. Yep.
Sure. Hey guys, my name's Joanna. I'm the co-founder of a protocol called Soon. So we've been focusing since, I would say last 9 months or so, we've been focusing on X402 use cases that are consumer facing. Something that I see kind of a marketing message problem with X402 is it's becoming a lot of buzz about like it being a developer tool, which is cool. It's like it really does help us with the DevX experience, but in actuality, also it's huge simplification of the UX, help onboarding people much easier with a single signature and gasless experience. So yeah, we basically built a perp DEX using X402 as a transfer agent, as well as some new use cases. Like something I really like. We launched recently was a red packet for everyone who celebrates Chinese New Year. Basically using it as a way to gift your friends and family value of money here to wish them good luck. So yeah, I can get into all the use cases that we've been working on in the following session.
Hey everybody, my name is Kevin Jones. I am a senior developer relations engineer at EdgeNode. EdgeNode is the original creators of the Graph protocol. And about 6 months ago, we started working on a stealth project to bring a new angle to X402 payments. We believe that agents are the future when it comes to everything, pretty much, obviously. And we believe that payments is a huge story. And we think that in the future, there will be thousands of agents, millions of agents that are transacting online. So we've created a middleware layer for essentially controlling spending of AI agents through our tool called Ampersand. So we can get into that.
Hi, everyone. My name is Armita. I'm a research manager at Messari. I've authored over 45 research papers and specializing in DePIN and AI, and I'm just very passionate about this industry.
Hello, my name's Patrick. I'm All right. Hello. Okay. Hi, everyone. Patrick. I'm the founder and managing partner of Dispersion Capital. We're a pre-seed seed fund exclusively focused on what we call decentralized infrastructure. So this is more things that are democratizing infrastructure. So open source, edge computing, and also decentralized AI with anything in between. One of our biggest thesis is that edge computing and blockchain converge. So that would empower this whole decentralized AI world. We were early in a whole bunch of the DAI kind of waves. So we were pre-seed investors in companies like Kite AI, Sentient, Sahara, TensorBlock, and many more. One of the biggest things that's happening right now and the biggest trend is all around agents. And we're looking to invest in the full stack of what enables autonomous agents to happen.
Hey, everybody. Oh, this one still doesn't work. Hey Hey everyone, I'm Jacob with CoinFello. We are and previous lead of operations for MetaMask. We have built a new general purpose AI agent that is the very first agent capable of using or automating any on-chain action. It can also research and explain contracts to you, and it can serve as your primary interface for accessing everything in the decentralized web on any EVM chain. So this means you no longer need to rely on going to dApps, which are prone to censorship or phishing and all of those sort of problems. This is a new way to use Ethereum and to use smart contracts, and we think it'll be the best way to make Ethereum accessible to billions of people.
Nice, thank you. So I'm a founding partner at Nonagon Capital, which is based in San Francisco. We are investing in early stages startup companies, and also we provide liquidities for DeFi protocol. So I'm going to be a moderator today. And I'm very excited about talking about this topic because, in only not Denver, probably in blockchain industry, the agentic payments or agent, the intersection of agent and blockchain is the hottest topic right now. So we had already some panels since Monday to now with the similar topic, but we want to more specific specific questions. So the first of all, I was feeling for the agentic payments or agent projects in blockchain industry, because probably X402 supports is really heavy, and then Coinbase is providing a bunch of APIs. So it's really easy to just assemble APIs and then probably issue token and hey, this is our agentic payments projects. So it's called more like API wrappers with a token. And my question is, how do we stop the agents from becoming that kind of API wrappers with a token and push toward real autonomy? So this is a specific question for Patrick and Kevin.
Yeah, I can start.
Yes.
Well, I think the most captivating token for crypto payments is USDC. I think that we are going to continue to see that narrative, like stable coins make the most sense for general commerce. You see that in countries all over the world. They prefer US dollars because it is dominant currency, unfortunately. So I think that in terms of token market share and people trying to capitalize on that, I think that there's going to be a whole nother thing that's going to come out of that, which is using X402 for community related stuff, right? Community related tokens and maybe making transfers that way. But I think generally you could probably say that 90 to 95% of transactions will always be settled in USDC unless the dollar collapses.
I see.
So, I think the question though is a little unfair, for agents, I guess, right? Because you're saying that, maybe the agents might become just like wrappers for APIs and tokens. You can also say that with a lot of software today, right? They're all API cloud wrappers as a program kind of thing. So I think it's a little more complicated and nuanced to that, mostly because, for agents, it's leveraging X402 is more about leveraging a payment rails to enable transactions and enable interactions between, agents, which are, between two software exchanging economic value to each other. So, it's more than just, call actions on APIs and more.
I see. And then also probably related question. So in agentic payments, the large companies, large payment company, the Web2 has a huge like a huge pocket for money and also strong marketing power. And as a venture capital, it's really difficult to find the spot or niche for for the startup companies can survive. And then so one of topic could be agentic. Know your agent is in human world, we need to have a KYC, and agent industry, we need to have know your agent. So that could be one of startup niche, but specifically for Patrick, do you find any niche for startup companies, or if you have any recommendation for the startup company? Do you have any industry niche?
Well, around agents, you kind of mentioned one thing about identity and enabling startups to enable agentic payments to happen. One thing for us is, I actually wrote a big blog post about this, is to actually unlock agentic payments to happen. The very first step is going to be identity. However, I would never invest in an identity company, only because there's $0 to be made in identity. There's been so many identity companies in Web 2, Web 3. It's very, very difficult to make money on identity. Identity is going to become a feature. So it's going to be a piece of a broader set of rails. And it's just going to be a necessary evil for agentic payments to happen, for agent companies to happen. So I think, how one to look at it as a startup, you're going to have to offer multiple components that will enable agentic payments to happen. And the number one thing is going to be identity, but identity itself may become a standard. And as a startup, you never want to become a standard, or else that becomes commoditized and all economic value just goes away.
I don't want to hog the mic, but I do have a couple of comments on that. One is the thing that we're looking at and have already integrated is ERC 8004, right, which is this kind of reputation system and registry for agents. We also want to extend that and make all of the agents that come through Ampersand have a agent credit score, essentially, and maybe not so much know your agent, but that could be a future thinking thing that we do. But really just giving trustworthiness for the agent is definitely a layer that we want to provide as well. So
cool. Do you want to add anything, Armita?
Not really, but I was going to say, do you think Credit Karma doesn't make money?
Credit Karma is not identity, though. Credit Karma is also
yeah, but then the credit base.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So then the next question would be for let me see. So this is question for Armita and Jacob. So when users are using agent, it's gonna in some cases the agent will make a problem for sure. So who is liable when an agent causes loss? Probably they lose money from the betting prediction market or some other buying tokens. So who's going to be liable on that losses from the users, agent developers, model providers, or the protocol? What do you guys thought on that?
Sure. Yeah. So right now is a little bit of gray area because whoever you want to delegate, let's say you want to say it's, the user, but the user could just be assigned the AI agent and not knowing what the model is. And then you could be saying it's the LLMs, right? But then at the same time, there are just the algorithm, and they could say that, the user who was using the AI agent didn't feed in, rewarded the bad behavior behavior, hence this happened. So at this point, I would say it's a gray area, but then you could say the same thing with the protocol. They're just there because they are the lawmakers, basically, and then the liability could be shared within the governance. So at this stage, we don't really have anything implemented that we could pinpoint and say, this is who we are going to be setting as an accountable party. But we have, I think, Kite AI also is doing something like that you can have everything on chain. So at the moment, you could really see what's going on and where things went wrong, right? And then in the future, you could tie identity to your protocol where you could have a feedback loop to mitigate these kind of issues as well. And maybe in the future, you could have insurance companies or something that you could take away all these accountability.
So I'll sort of answer the question because we're building a general purpose agent that accesses all of DeFi. And so if we think about the risk profile in that context, the status quo today is that the wallet layer has not succeeded in making DeFi sufficiently safe. Phishing scams remain rampant. Every time we have bull markets, we hear the worst horror stories of people losing their life savings, being hacked, being phished. And so there is absolutely a new attack surface and risk profile to the agentic economy. But I do think it's important, just as a starting point, to say that the risk profile is significantly better than the status quo. The second thing is we think of the risk profile of, so we are a self-sovereign agent. And so the user is deploying their own trusted execution environment. That trusted execution environment also gives them the ability to select from a range of different models. And we ultimately want to have a dual model architecture. So you have the concept of the proposer model and the reviewer model. And that helps to provide a security layer against hallucination. It helps to empower the user. And then ultimately, between the two, in the dual model architecture, the human still reviews the output before execution happens. So the human is still approving the execution just like they do today with their current wallet. The other important piece to the security model that's different is we have a number of EIPs that are now available in Ethereum that make it possible to do things that were not possible even 6 months ago. So we have two really important EIPs, 7710 and 7715. These are delegations and permissions. So the user can define to their agent what assets the agent can manage, how much of the asset it can manage, and what ways that it can use those assets. And so in the early days of this agentic economy, people are going to expose $50 to their agent or even less and see how it performs. And as it performs better and better, and as they become more comfortable, then we'll see the total assets that these agents are able to manage progressively grow, and we'll see the agentic economy boom. But the agentic economy has to earn the right to manage those assets first by proving itself progressively to the user, and doing so in the way that the user ultimately defines.
Yeah.
Of course.
Please.
So I think one of the great things we have about blockchain is its finality, right? At least somewhat with the way that consensus works. But I think that's 100% the user level, trying to capture and create tools that protect the end user is one thing. I have seen a lot of interest in projects being built in this remittance field, which is after the actual transaction happens. Or maybe it's not necessarily after the transaction happens. One of the things that Edge and Node contributed to the X402 standard is a different payment scheme. So, the standard payment scheme, for anyone who doesn't know, is called an exact payment scheme. So you exactly make, hey, this is 2 cents, go make the payment on the blockchain and then come back with a result, and that's that. We basically created a deferred payment scheme, which is basically an IOU or voucher-based system where you can tally up receipts for basically queries that you can then finalize in a batch processing. So I think there's this opportunity where we can leverage a system like that, especially when we're dealing with low, cost transactions that are sub-cents, right? And if there's issues where the data that came back from, 10 of the 200 requests was bad, then we can kind of like remit those and remove those from the IOUs and finalize those payments with that kind of remittance gap. So there's a lot of opportunity in just like that level of like giving a user credit or giving an agent credit, sorry, and then figuring out how you finalize based off that credit in an escrow contract.
Interesting. Yeah, I was gonna ask if there is any like ongoing regulation who covers the agentic payments loss or like agent behavior loss. But move on to the next question. So the next question is, what is one prediction you have for agent adoption that most people will disagree with today? This question is for Joanna, Kevin, and Patrick, who can take.
Yeah,
most.
I mean, for agent adoption, I think right now, like we talked about how X402 is an open standard and there's no money to be made in open standard. I do actually disagree with that. I think a lot of this, X402, like with working very closely with Eric and team at CDP, as Coinbase developer platform, to add they used to only like hard code USDC as a only like payment currency, and now they're doing like permit 8 to add this new optionality, so you can also make other currency fundable. That all add into potential to make a launch pad for X402, for instance, right? So now there is money to be made. You can launch your own X402 project that can consume your own token, right? So all of that, and then I think the whole idea, like what we were being pursuing as soon with the 100x soon, this is the new app that I was talking about, the mini burp, is that you can have these human to agent interaction in which that you just give proxy to the agent and just one single signature to let it handles all the payment and the transfer logic in the back end. So it's just abstract away the complexity. I think in the near future we can make it more like agent to agent. There's always that I fear that there might be some people like trying to abuse the system with a lot of agents, like just rate limit your API. But I think at the current moment, we can still make it like so that an agent is functioning as a very much a benefit, right, to making like the entire UI UX experience very, very simple. So yeah, onboarding should be like as easy as like a 1 minute onboarding flow. Like I onboarded my mom, who's never touched crypto before, to receive her red packet using X402 in the back end. So she never even need to know she was transacting on the blockchain. So that kind of stuff is what really excites me, right? And certainly like in our application, we have done, in the past 10 days, like 450 million transactions so far. So, I think the idea is like there's a lot of consumer facing apps that is missing, that is still yet to be developed, and there's a lot of white space to be made.
So did you say 450 million X402 transactions?
Yeah, it's like basically high frequency micro payments. Wow. Yeah, people love Lunar New Year, so they love to like give out these like red packets to each other.
I'm really bad at predictions. I've tried many. I'm just never really on point with them. But I do think that we're going to see higher ticketed X402 transactions probably in the future. Everything's really like low kind of prices, right? Like low transactions volume. Maybe not volume, you know what I'm saying? So I think we're going to see maybe like the user economy be a thing soon. People buying, their groceries on on Amazon or something. And I think that's closer than we think it's going to be. we're not doing that now. Obviously, no one's really using AI that much, and as far as AI payments. So I think the consumer level X402 is going to be a big market.
Cool. Yeah. Patrick?
Sure. I know we're kind of out of time, but I'll give a quick prediction, I guess. But I think for agents, it's still really going to be like Web 2 agents versus Web 3 agents, more internal uses, stuff like that. Just because if you think about it, like volume. Sure, you guys had amazing transactions, right? But, they're microtransactions. The dollar amount is still quite minuscule in the grand scheme of things. So I think for agent payments to really happen, it's going to be a lot longer than we would like it to happen as an industry. So, I think it's going to be like a year or so plus.
Cool. So because of the time constraint, we have probably 3 or 4 minutes. So do you guys want to accept any question, or if you guys want to have like a specific topic you want to talk, you can probably share your thoughts. Or any question from audience, probably? Yes.
Insights and research. Messari.
My question, my name's Daniel. Question is.
Sorry, can you speak loudly?
Sure, yeah. My name's Daniel. My question is, what are your guys' thoughts on agentic insider trading in the future?
What's thoughts on agentic insider trading? Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I mean, there's like non-insider trading right now in crypto. So I don't see why it wouldn't be like people using that technology to do it, sadly. But I don't know if it's as efficient as just doing a normal kind of like, thing. I'm not like promoting that, but I don't think that the technology is actually built for that. I think the technology is built for like the end user controlling an agent for, whatever. But I don't think it's necessarily the best strategy for someone who's trying to like do market making, say, for a token or a meme coin or something like that.
So,
I can also go. When it comes with these AI agents, there's always a human part, which is going to be quality control and delegating who, as the AI agent, is going to be doing things. So, the most, I would say, like the fear, it's coming back to us again. Like, are we going to verify and, execute and reward these agentic AIs and the agents?
So I have a question on that, though. So with insider trading on agent, who goes to jail? Which agent goes to jail? Who do you send?
I don't know. I guess my question was also more in the context of like a future where these agents have autonomy without the human quality control of the trade. I feel like somewhere in the future we're going to have agents that end-to-end trade on their own. Right?
Yeah, so that's what it comes with the security of the agents, which is one of the issues that a lot of AI companies are having, is that what is the security, which doesn't really fall within, like, for example, like the private keys, but it's what are the executions that these AI agents are doing? And it comes back to us again, like what are these constraints that we are putting into the logic of the AI agents, and what are they going to be doing? So again, like this is coming back to one of the, the footprints of what is going to be a good AI agent, and that's going to be the constraints and the logics that we are giving to it.
Never give your private key to anybody. That includes your agent.
What about decentralization and privacy in agent AI reality?
There's a bunch of layers to it. So when we think about so we have the problems of like minor extractable value in the previous generation. I think that we're going to have very similar arbitrage and front running problems in the agentic economy, and I spoke with you earlier today, so I know you're friends of Venice, so I'll give a shout out to them. They hold chat history locally, but that can't actually solve all of the problem, because if you're still hitting like they hold, some of what they do is they hold the model in their architecture, and you're still sort of trusting them to not collect data on it, and then they have a model aggregator for anybody who doesn't know. So if you use a centralized model or I guess a third-party model like OpenAI, then OpenAI can actually, even when you're using Venice, could still do that kind of thing. And so I think that their solution is the best that we have today. I think we will also see encrypted trusted execution environments where the conversations are wholly private, where the prompts and automations that the agent has are also running encrypted. We have to get a lot better at that. There's like performance trade-offs. There's also like a lot of challenge for the creator of the agent, because it's very hard to improve your agent when you are not doing OpenAI style surveillance. So all of this is we've got to find ways to maximize user privacy and to stop the arbitrage risk to the users, because it's even worse than the surveillance that's in OpenAI.
Is anybody doing trusted execution encryption with AI agents that you know of? Anyone in the space?
So we're working with EigenAI, and it's not quite launched yet, but we've been working really closely with them. Their trusted execution environments are great because they provide verifiability that the model that the agent is running is the model that it says it is. It does deterministic output of the model. So even though these are non-deterministic models, in the way that they run them, given the same situation, the output will be the same, which allows us to run evals and testing and ensure that we can help do QA processes against hallucinations and dangerous behaviors that a model might invoke.
Cool. Let's talk later.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Unfortunately, we have to close this panel because of the time constraint. But thank you very much for spending time with us, for audience, and thank you very much for the precious expertise for the speakers. So please enjoy other panels and also probably network on the network space. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.